What's happening, everyone? We are here talking night 2 of WrestleMania 40. I'm Rob Wolkenbrod here with Wrestling Junkie, and we are just going to get right into it because this was a night of surprises, fun, excitement, and all-around chaos that I am all here for, as I said in my night 1 reaction video. So we start off immediately with Stephanie McMahon showing up in the WWE ring. Now, she was at the Hall of Fame ceremony on Friday night, but this is her first true appearance in the Paul Levesque era, which she specifically called out is the Paul Levesque era and how excited and proud she is of it happening. It's a very, very clear and obvious thing to say when her father, Vince McMahon, has been embroiled in sexual assault allegations and a lot of different not great things that have come up over the past couple months. So the fact she came out and said all this was pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. And it was a heck of a start. It was a way to pop the crowd, get everyone excited, and really put the stamp on that this is the Paul Levesque Triple H era. And it shocked me to see her come out. I'm sure it shocked other people to see her come out. And it was just something to remember to kick off the show, just like how he did the night before. Now, that getting right into that first match of the night when we had Drew McIntyre challenging Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, which Drew won, seemingly getting that WrestleMania moment that he had craved, wanted, and he didn't really get 4 years ago when he had to win the title in the pandemic. So he did this in front of fans. He got his moment. He got to celebrate for a minute. And then, of course, there was CM Punk on the side there on commentary who got physically involved. Very surprisingly, got physically involved. And it was after a very, very good match between McIntyre and Rollins. I thought it was actually better than the one they had a couple months back. Really good stuff. Especially how they just went full force at the very beginning with McIntyre hitting the Claymore and didn't ultimately get the pinfall, but it looked like it was going to get him the pinfall. And then after the match with Seth Rollins telling him, "You bleeping deserve this." So, really great moment there. But then McIntyre, oh man, the moment that Punk went after him, it set things up for Damian Priest to run out and cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase, which he had been holding since last June. There was a time where it looked like he might be cashing in for the Intercontinental Championship, just because Gunther's not holding the title anymore. It's not, I guess, an invincible title to take away. And you thought maybe, okay, he might be going after Sami Zayn, but no, they had him go for the WrestleMania cash-in on Drew McIntyre. And McIntyre's reign lasted a good 5 minutes, maybe if that. So Priest got his ultimate WrestleMania moment after losing the Raw and SmackDown tag team titles on the first night of WrestleMania. So it ultimately became Damian Priest his night, his moment to shine, and really something that you thought could have came maybe 10 months ago when he had a little more heat, a little more juice to him coming off the Bad Bunny match, and everyone talking about how Priest has been this guy who just delivers nonstop over and over again. And yeah, he's still that guy. He's been that guy. But maybe the shine had been worn off just a tad bit because we're just a little past Backlash of 2023. So he might not be the top overall star power guy, but he is the guy with the title. And very curious to see how that starts off immediately with who challenges him, whether it's maybe if McIntyre tries going back for it again. I don't know about that. Rollins, I think you got to keep him away from the title picture for a bit. And then you see who kind of steps up from there on Raw. There was the 6-man tag match between the Final Testament and Bobby Lashley and Street Profits. Bubba Ray Dudley was a very nice surprise seeing him come out as the special guest referee. Ultimately, though, the match didn't really do much. Really wasn't much there. There was a potential for it to be that car crash match like the first night with the ladder match. Unfortunately, this just never went there. It was a feud that was kind of dead in the water anyway, and it kind of showed because there was just no heat to it. The next match was LA Knight defeating AJ Styles. Now, an overall good match. For me personally, it was taken away by a crowd atmosphere that was very focused on the light situation, where WWE had blasted some lights on the crowd, and it was very bright, hard to see the screens that were placed on atop the ring, which for some people was more helpful to view when you're further away from the ring and you can't see what's going on in the ring as much. So there was chants going on throughout the match for that. For me, that got a little distracting, took away a little bit what I could really focus on. But overall, it was a good match featuring new theme music for AJ Styles, which, sure, okay. He had great music. No one complained about that. But I think I saw him say in an interview that it was too awesome, something along those lines. And now he got something that's just not great. I thought at first it wasn't bad, but So LA Knight gets the win. Good match. I think he's the one who probably needed this win more than Styles. Although Styles probably needs a win or two here and there, even if he's starting to fade away from that main event picture. So LA Knight gets this, and maybe propels him to Money in the Bank in a couple months, perhaps. So I see some good things there for him that will rise him back up, maybe to where he was back in late 2023 when his stock was red hot. Really, a really fun match was Logan Paul over Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. So he retained the United States Championship. Good, fun match. Kevin Owens and Randy Orton coming down on that golf cart was pretty funny. Also, between the good spots in the match, from the cool RKOs to Kevin Owens to Randy Orton kicking Speed, who was in the Prime model, kicked him down. That was one of the funnier moments of the night, to say the least. But Logan Paul retaining the title mean he's not losing that thing anytime soon. I was a little surprised that he's been running with this for as long as he has. I believe we're going on 6 months now. I thought he could have lost it at Royal Rumble, but clearly they're trying to establish him with this title, giving him some wins, especially when he wasn't winning a lot before, when he was a little more part-time. Now he's become slightly more of a regular, but now that we're outside of WrestleMania season now, I'm not sure how often he's going to show up to defend the title. Maybe the title could go away for a little bit, which it's not ideal, but maybe it could also be a serious thing where he starts showing up kind of regularly and maybe starts defending his title at more pay-per-views. So Bayley over Io Sky for the WWE Women's Championship kind of started out coming, but in a good way, in a very good way, because this is Bayley's main roster WrestleMania moment that she has not had, especially when Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch have had their moments under the spotlight on the grand stage of them all. Bayley had hers at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 9 years ago. It's been a moment. It's been a minute. So the fact that she was able to do this while putting on a very good match, while having that spectacular entrance, that was really cool. And you could just tell how thrilled and ecstatic she was just coming down to the ring and then having things go this way for her. The ending of the match was a little sloppy, but despite that, it was a great moment. The crowd loved it. The crowd was chanting along, singing along with her, the Hey Bayley hoo-ha song. So that was a little cool thing. And I also have to give hats off to Io Sky, because she was a good champion. She's great in the ring. She really came along from being, I guess, kind of like a iffy heel or face to really being a full-on heel, I'd say, these past couple months. And she really held up well as the title holder there for as long as she did, which was since SummerSlam of 2023. Now, last but not least, we got that main event. That atmosphere, man, for that main event, when Cody Rhodes defeated Roman Reigns, ending his modern-day record title reign with the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Cody Rhodes took the title in the main event and got his WrestleMania moment and finished the story in what I would call a very good to great match. Had everything, had the chaos. It was overbooked. It was a circus in those final few minutes where people are interfering. There's multiple near falls. There's really anything, I mean, at least for me, that I could have asked for it. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. The spots were perfect. It was great in the ring beforehand to set things up, where you had Reigns using Crossroads and not being able to get the successful pinfall, calling it a dumb move. Oh man, that was pretty funny. And then, really, I mean, we could just get right into the chaos in the final minutes, because that's really what made this thing. It started off with Jimmy Uso getting involved, and then Jey Uso coming in to make the save, and then spearing his brother off the stage. It took them out for the rest of the match, but man, that was a heck of a moment. That was the first thing that really, truly popped the crowd. Then you had Sol Sikoa coming in, and Sol Sikoa, once upon a time, had some beef, 6 months ago, with someone named John Cena? And John Cena ran into a mega pop. That place erupted, and he came in, he fought off Sol Sikoa, great and all, putting him through a table. But then The Rock's music comes out, and next thing you know, I mean, that just takes things up a level, and you have The Rock and Cena staring each other down in the center of the ring. It's just 2013 all over again, man. It created an electrifying moment, and even though Rock took out Cena pretty quickly with the Rock Bottom, man, that made for a chilling, cool, fun moment where you get these two icons staring each other down in the ring for maybe the last time, because who knows when they'll ever share a ring again, if ever. So, really a special thing there that the fans really soaked up. But then there's Seth Rollins coming out, and Seth Rollins coming out with the Shield entrance, and because he had promised Cody Rhodes that he was going to be his Shield, and he lived up to that. He came out with the Shield entrance in the tactical bodysuit and whatnot. He got obliterated immediately, and Roman Reigns actually took out his frustration on Seth Rollins with the chair over Cody, which is a great callback to storytelling, long-term storytelling, when Seth Rollins turned on Reigns initially to break up the Shield. So having that was a nice little wrinkle in the match there. So Rollins kind of sacrificed himself to give Cody the win there, which is pretty amazing for the storyline itself to see, especially how far Cody and Seth have come from being ultimate rivals to being partners in crime. But then, man, that gong goes off and the place goes dark. Ooh, that was a moment where, sitting there in the press box for that was the whole arena just. Ooh, that was maybe the pop of the weekend before what happened at the very end here. It was the pop of the weekend. No one expected that, because people thought, okay, maybe Stone Cold Steve Austin, there was the production truck tease where he was on there, and maybe that was a plan once upon a time. Very well could be. I have no idea. But the fact that he did not show up was maybe a little bit of a surprise to some people. But Undertaker, man, that ruled. That absolutely ruled there. He was just in and out within a couple of seconds after choke slamming The Rock and pretty much taking The Rock with him. So it was pretty amazing. It was a quick spot, but one that just absolutely ruled and just really encompassed how chaotic and crazy this all was. Now you might ask, why is The Undertaker there? Well, him and Rock once upon a time had beef during the Attitude Era. They did. Maybe not the rivalry that Stone Cold and The Rock did, but Taker and Rock still fought each other back in the day, so you could play off that if they need to explain things. Because Cena had the immediate beef with the Bloodline, and then, of course, you have Rollins, who's had the beef as recently as the night before. So between all that, you might think, yeah, maybe Undertaker, I don't know about this, but to me, it's fine. It's fine. And then, of course, you have Cody Rhodes right after that, finishing the story, getting his moment, getting to celebrate with his wife, Brandy Rhodes, and getting that moment where he gets to celebrate with his fellow WWE superstars in the ring, getting a speech in front of the crowd where he calls out Bruce Pritchard and Triple H to come down to the ring to celebrate with him. And it was really, truly a moment where it was one of the most special WrestleMania moments, really, you could say, of all time. Really a truly heartwarming, heartfelt moment that was years in the making. Something that took a long way to get to, from the days of Cody Rhodes as dashing Cody Rhodes to Stardust, to having to leave WWE to go to AEW, working the rest of the professional wrestling scene before coming back to WWE. Without all of that, he would never get here. He would never get to this point. He made himself into a star. He made himself into a megastar. He made himself into the face of WWE. That's what happened. He is the face of WWE. And he did that through 15 years of hard work. Maybe longer than that, since his professional wrestling career really took off or really got underway. And tonight really just showed how special it all was. And it felt like it. It felt like it there, sitting there, watching it happen. It felt like a truly great thing for fans to take in, because this is a one-of-a-kind kind of moment to happen. Really, truly special and awesome to see culminate. Absolutely. And something we'll be looking back on and talking about for years to come. Now, Roman Reigns' title reign can't go undiscussed here. It was an historic run that will go down in the record books. It was one of the best ever, and he led WWE these past 3 years with this title belt, main eventing pay-per-views, really taking his character from this bland babyface to this pretty awesome heel, leading a stable that was at the forefront of a storyline that arguably is why WWE is where it is right now, because of the storytelling that really was great there and really just bled into everything else. Really, truly special. And while he didn't become the longest reigning champion of all time, he's still the modern day guy that we are all going to go look back on. And he is absolutely the most, or just one of the most dominant champions WWE has ever had. And for all he's done, I think you have to definitely respect that. Absolutely respect that. Even if he's working part-time dates these days, he's still killed it these past couple of years. He has. And it's really, really now going to be fascinating to see what happens with him without a belt. How soon we find it out, who knows? He could be going away for a couple months, and maybe we'll see what happens with how the storyline with him and the bloodline moves forward. Well, that will do it for 2 nights of WrestleMania, man. Special weekend for WWE. It really built up and culminated with this main event that was a one-of-a-kind, once-in-a-lifetime kind of thing, with Cody Rhodes finishing his story. You had great matches along the way, great moments, title reigns that were record-breaking, ending along the way. Really, WWE went out of its way to make this a special WrestleMania, to put its mark on a new era. I think that was very, very clear with what happened these past 2 days. And now we're entering a brand new territory now, where we're outside of WrestleMania season. And WWE is going to have a very new look to it, between Cody Rhodes, Bayley, Damian Priest, Sami Zayn, new tag champions on both sides. Really, there's a lot to look forward to, man. There's a lot to look forward to here. WWE is red, scorching hot right now. And I think fans are going to be on a ride here moving forward to see what they do next year.